All right, it's 2025. Let's get the introductions out of the way, shall we? I am Bob the Cigar Guy, and this is I Got the Smokes. Let's ride with me. BTCG, that's right, an hour of hopefully your driving pleasure getting off of work on Friday, and this is the first Friday of 2025, and I am so amazed that you are here. You probably don't even have to work this week, but you're here, and man, I am thankful for that. We got 51 of these left. I'm ready to go. I've got a cigar. I've got a couple. And I've got a Diet Pepsi. And I got a computer. And I got nothing else. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about something. I got a tickle. I've been working, tearing up the kitchen or the bathroom floor, literally to the dirt. Taking the joist had to come out. The thing was all rotted, and I've been cutting back and cutting out, and I got a mouthful of that dust. So if I cough or if I sound a little schnozzy, blame it on the bathroom, right? And it's awful because I had to take out the toilet and I had to take out the sink, and the tub's still there, but I can't get to the tub, and the only other bathroom is upstairs or outside. I'm in a neighborhood. Can you put the pieces together? I got to walk upstairs every time I got to go tinkle tinkle little star, and that just ain't no fun. So, except when it gets dark, I got to shop. I got shadows. I gotta go. So, not going to be cigar reviews. The I Got the Smokes Let's Ride podcast, episode 1. From episode 1 to 52. Hopefully we'll do 52. That's going to be a challenge. Putting out this video takes about an hour to shoot. We're already a minute and 60 seconds in almost. Minute and 55 seconds. Minute and 60 seconds be 2 minutes, Bob, you big idiot. But it takes an hour to shoot, half an hour to set up, probably get my lazy butt out here and sit down, turn on everything, pick out my cigar. Yeah, I've got the hard life. But then it takes about 3 hours to edit and upload. So it's a 4 hour investment every week. Not you said that's not no big deal, but you know you do it every week. You got Christmas, you got holidays, you're sick, you're traveling, you're this, you're that. You got to plan ahead. So it's going to be kind of interesting. Hopefully, we'll do 52. This is not a sponsored product. Now, if you'd like to sponsor it from Bubba J's Tow Truck and Garage, I'm down with that. Any local Waffle House, that'd work too. Any cigar manufacturer wants to jump on this, I'm fine with that. But really, it just gives me the freedom to do whatever I do. When we have a sponsor, we promise, like for Chief Talk, like for Drew's Day, like for the Saka series, we promise at least 40. We usually deliver between 48 and 50. We don't do, if Christmas falls at that time, we don't do Christmas. We want you to be a family. Traveling to somewhere, or 4th of July or something like that, or taking time off because you're feeling sick. We kind of shut that back, but we try to get a minimum of 40. But this one, I'm really shooting for the stars. I'm trying to get 52. We're going to do this for this year. It'll be fun to see if this podcast is watched. It's going to be fun to see. It's going to be a test of my humility to see if people want to sit and listen to me for an hour, and if I've got something worth to say, worth that. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about everything. We may talk about the plumbing in the house. We may talk about cigars. We're going to talk about cigars. We might talk about life. We may talk about drones in New Jersey. What craziness right there. We're going to talk about things of life. We're going to be telling stories. We're going to be encouraging and motivating. The things you won't hear is dirty jokes, slandering and putting down people, bashing things, and stuff like that. That's not what we're about. That's not what we want to do. We want to encourage and build up and give you a moment's pause, a place where if your kids are around, you're not worried they hear something off color, right? Right. So let me go ahead. Sorry. That's a hangnail. You shouldn't have seen that because you're driving. Don't you watch this screen, Mr. and Mrs. 10 and 2, or was it 9 and 3, depending on your age, as to what your driving instructor told you. Pay attention to the road because you need to get home safely. If you get home, if your ride is not an hour long from 5 to 6, feel free to cut that thing off, get in the house, because the goodness is in that inside of that door at your home. Go in there and spend time with your family. Don't sit out in the parking lot and driveway. Listen to me and my silliness. Get in there with them people because they love you and they should because you're lovable. And you love them and you should because they're lovable. And so go do the family thing. What am I going to do? I'm going to cut my cigar. This is an interesting company, brand new. I say brand new. They came out right after COVID. Natura, Natura. One of the cigars actually made my list. I think it was 19. The Frisian horse-themed cigar series. I've been impressed. Their rep reached out to me, said, "Hey, somebody told me." He's a new rep. Has been in there about 3 weeks. He says, "Somebody told me that that I need to hook up with you and get you some cigars." And I said, "Yes, you do." Right. Saw them at PCA, saw the company at PCA, but they really didn't talk to me much. They didn't talk to anybody much because most of them spoke Spanish and they didn't have that English sliding easy. So I didn't get to try any cigars there. Lane, I think is his name. He sent me cigars. He met up with me. We dropped them off the house, and so I've been smoking through them. There's a series of 5. He's got 4 corn. He's got one called First Harvest. One called First Harvest costs a ton of money, almost as much as a unicorn. And then the other ones are much more budget friendly. The Forest, which is a Connecticut, the Mustang, which is a Habano, the Frisian, which is a Maduro, and that's one that made my list. And this one I'm about to smoke is the Akalteke, Akhal-Teke. It is Cameroon wrapper, Habano binder, and Pennsylvania Dominicano 13 Pata Fina Piloto. Wow, lots of stuff. The story's pretty cool. He told me that they're growing tobacco. Let me see where the paper is. The paper tells it better than I do. They're growing the tobacco. Is it here? In Dominican Republic. It's like 3,000 feet. I mean, it's way, way, way up there where there's no tobacco. They don't grow tobacco up there because it's so freaking cold. Up in that higher elevation, the sun's not sunning, I guess. And so he was telling me that they got greenhouses and they grow their tobacco in greenhouses, and it gives it a different experience because of the elevation, which can, and because of the greenhouse, climate and stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. I said, but I got a question. I was honest with him. I never met the dude. He was on the phone. I'm going to be honest. I said, the first question I got. And he goes, yeah, go ahead. I said, why the heck would you grow tobacco in a place that nobody's growing tobacco? You're going to spend all this money on building greenhouses, and then you're going to see if it works? That's a whole... And then you got to put in infrastructure. You got to put in roads and buildings and everything else. You got to train your farmers because they don't farm up there with tobacco, and every farm is different. I said, why would you do all that? He goes, thanks for asking. Great question. Good salesman. He said the company was very, very prosperous in vegetables. I think he was talking about cucumbers. I think he was talking about tomatoes. I think he was talking about peppers. And that's his bread and butter. The guy's bread and butter, and he does good with produce. Well, COVID happened, and evidently people weren't buying produce, or it wasn't able to be shipped, or it was blocked. I don't know, all that stuff. So COVID happened, and he was at a point where they were so short on their income that they were going to have to lay people off. And he goes, I don't want to lay people off. I don't want to do that. But it's a business. What do I do? So he said, I got all these greenhouses. They're not being filled with vegetables. Let's do tobacco. And the plan was that they were going to do tobacco. This is their story. The plan is that they were going to do tobacco and bulk it, which means you grow the tobacco, you harvest the tobacco, You put it in your drying barns, and then you put it into pilons and you age it, and then you take it in big bushels, bundles, whatever you call it, bales, and you take it to a clearinghouse where all these people come through, and these fellers will grade it until kind of tell the farm or tell the cigar manufacturers what kind of tobacco they got, and then the cigar manufacturers get it, taste it, smell it, eat it, set it on fire, whatever they do to it, and then they buy it, they auction, they bid on it, right? Well, evidently, the feller's been doing this 20 years at that clearinghouse. He looked at him and he goes, "Where'd you get this tobacco from?" And he told him. And he goes, "You're lying." He goes, "I'm not lying." He said, "Nah, you're lying. Tobacco don't grow up there." He says, "Ha, I have greenhouses." And he's like, "All right." And so he put it through his paces. He tested it, tasted it, did whatever, burn tested it, and he goes, "You can't sell this tobacco." The guy said, "Why so?" He goes, "Because it's too good. It's too unique. You need to make a cigar of your own and put it out." And now that's easy to say. If you ain't got no money in the game, no skin in the game, and I can tell you, hey, you ought to go buy Bitcoin, right? Or you ought to go buy Dale Earnhardt Philadelphia Mint plates, NASCAR plates, right? And you'll make money. Because I'm not buying them too. But this feller, he took it a step further. He goes, "No, I'm serious. I'll tell you what. You want to do that? I'll blend and roll your cigar." I don't know if he kept his other job or not. He's been doing it 20 years. He's one of the masters at there, and all this tobacco's come through him. And he goes, "This is something that I want to get hold to." And that's what they call their first harvest. Now, that's the one that I said that's in the unicorn range, as far as price is. But it was a banger. It was phenomenal. It did not make my list. Why? Because it was such a banger. It was so phenomenal, and the price point was so high that I didn't want to have one and that be perfect, and somebody go out and spend all that coin, and theirs isn't. If I was going to put that cigar on my list, to be honest, I would have to go through a handful before I would feel comfortable. Somebody putting that much money down on a cigar, and because I said so, or because I said it's good, and they said, "Well, I trust Bob. Let me try it." No, I'm not throwing my name out there unless I know. I'd probably have to go through 10, to be honest, and that's not going to happen because that's a ton of money. So it will probably never make my list, and that will probably be the reason why. But that name, Natura, Natura, be ready for some great stuff coming. Yeah. I'm thinking this company is going to be a lot like Artesano del Tobacco was 2 years ago when they're on the side of PCA, and Chief and I were just kind of wandering around the edge, and this fella jumped out and said, "Hey, I see you have a camera. Why do you have a camera?" I said, "We're media. Do you have time to do a video?" Sign was cool. I'm coughing. The logo was neat, and so I decided that we give it a shot, and that was an amazing cigar. And the next year, we put that out high on our list that year. The next year, everybody had on their list. Not that we knew before everybody else did, which we kind of did, but we're just lucky enough to take time. They were hidden in the corner. This year's 2024's PCA, they were front center and they were good to go. So I'm thinking that this may be a breakout company. I don't know because I'm smoking through this one now, the Amalteki or whatever it's called. Not too shabby. Very, very nice. So we'll see. I had the Frisian, loved it. Had the Forest, which is a Connecticut shade. It's a shade plus, if I'm going to be honest. It tasted like the like the Connecticut wrapper was rushed, had a little bitter to it, little ting to it, and it just, I don't like Shade Plus. 80% or whatever, some crazy number like that, of cigars that are sold in America. America buys over 80% of all cigars in the world. Okay, a statistic a couple years ago, and almost 80% of those are Connecticut Shade. Golfers, bachelor parties, every once in a while kind of guys and girls, and that's what they smoke. And so, for some reason, I mean, it used to be if it had a light wrapper on it, it was a lighter cigar because people don't smoke a lot. They can't handle the nicotine. They can't handle all the flavor. And so they want something that's in that lane. And now they're starting to add your heavier Maduros, your heavier Mexican San Andreas, your heavier everything else, and you're making a Shade Plus. And so they're getting a cigar and they're thinking it's going to be light and it's not. And so I don't know. I think if you want a, this is just me, if you want a cigar that is a little bit lighter, or you want that creamy toasty note in your heavier cigar, put it in your filler. Now, I don't know what the burn composition is. I don't know if it will. Maybe the leaf is too thin and it burns up too fast and it causes tunneling. I don't know that. But I'm going to say that if you're going to do that, maybe do a barber pole. Maybe do something. So you see the darkness. That's all I'm saying. And that cigar tasted a lot like the rest of the cigars that are that Shade Plus. And it's just not my thing. Now, I've got to, first time of the year already, I've got to kind of take a pause, and I'm not going to stop the video. You're just going to be a part of it with me. I've got to go to my messages, my texts on my computer, and I've got a text from the First Lady. They are down. Gracie, First Lady, Caden and Macy. That's Caitlin's kids. My grandkids, Grammy's grandkids. It's First Lady. They're at Disney for New Year's. And so they said, so she said, hey, Magic Kingdom Day. It's been a good day. We got up a little later. I bet. It's the day after New Year's. Or it's New Year's Day now. We had a slow go morning. That was nice for all of us. We had lunch at the castle, which was also nice. Very cool. Except Caden ate macaroni and cheese. That was some expensive freaking macaroni and cheese. Turd boy. When he could have had steak. Doofus. Which Macy did. Smart girl. She should have said, I'll have his steak too. Currently waiting in line for Haunted Mansion. How's the bathroom and floor going? Well, I guess she's waiting in line. So I'm going to cut this off, because I'm not going to have you in my conversation. That'd be kind of But I'm going to cut this off, and then I'm going to have that conversation. I will come back. You will not miss me, but for a blip, even if you do miss me, because I'm going to come off and come back. So I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. I know. I'm sorry. We're going to pause for, just consider this a traffic light. Light goes yellow. Light goes red. I'll be back. I'm back. Sorry. It took 7 minutes. Tried to FaceTime her so I could see what's going on in Disney. They're having a great time, phenomenal time. But for whatever reason, it couldn't pick up, so I just started texting like a madman, giving her all the information of the questions she asked. And then I said, I'm going to be sitting here for 5 minutes, and if you don't hear from me after 5 minutes, it's because I'm in the middle of shooting a video. So she hasn't responded. I'll keep looking over there because it's First Lady, So, but, I had to do some mathing, right? This is supposed to last 1 hour. Cough. 1 hour. And so I had to look at the first clip, which we ran. You're not involved in this. You're not culpable. You are an innocent bystander. Innocent bystander. The first clip was 18 minutes and 31 seconds. And so then I'm like, okay, let me do the math to see how long the second clip is. And at first, I said it's got to be 41 minutes, which I'm pretty proud of myself for that. But then I said 41 minutes and 69 seconds. And I'm like, wait. So I was trying to round up to the dollar. But it's 41 minutes and 29 seconds of your, hopefully, listening enjoyment. Amelteki, I guess is what it's called. Ackle. Ackelteki. The names. There's probably a story behind it. They're all horses. The bands are freaking amazing. They're gorgeous. They got that big horsey on there. I don't like horses. First Lady does. I like the First Lady a lot, and so I put up with horses. But that band is amazing. All the bands are gorgeous. They are just delightful and lovely. Present well. This is a box press, soft box press, and it's doing a great job. Draws fantastic burns. Laser. Freaking mascara line is tight and tiny. Don't look at that because you're driving. You're driving. You're driving. 10 and 2. 9 and 3. Whatever you want to call it. Diet Pepsi break. So, this year, we are going to do some different things. I know last year we only did a 5 video podcast just to see. It was an experiment. I didn't have super great numbers. I had decent numbers, I guess. Low numbers, but all right. But the people that did watch it said they really, really, really enjoy it. And some people were like, hey, you going to do that again next year? I haven't seen it for a month. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it. So I have not figured out how to do Spotify or the Apple whatever. So podcast thing is escaping me on that. So it'll probably still stay here on YouTube. If we went to the platforms, I think it would do good for the channel, to be honest. I think you pick up views for just people tripping around looking for stuff on the regular traditional podcast sites. And there's a couple people out of the however many watched. There's a couple people might subscribe. So it would help our numbers. It would help our views as well. But that tech just destroys me. I can't stand it. I got in that bathroom and that floor was weak, and so I thought I'd have to just kind of put a short patch. I knew I had to fix one of the joists. I thought it was going to be one joist I was going to have to deal with. It was 4 joists. It's the whole bathroom floor, and as I got in there, I'm just whittling away till I figure it out. I can do that. You give me a car. When I used to own a hot rod and custom shop, one of my lines was, some people call it overkill, we call it just about right. And the other one was, if I was really feeling swaggerish and someone was talking about a car, I said, I'll tell you what, Bubba, you bring me the radiator cap and you tell me what you want and you give me enough money, you give me enough time, I'll build that car for you. And I was secure in that. I was. Because I'm good like that with my hands and stuff, right? But this computer, oh my gosh. Chief has bought a brand new camera, a better camera to further. The camera the channel bought last year, year before last, it ain't nothing to slouch with. It's a professional camera, but his camera's next level. Switches lenses. But now we have the channel camera, and he's supposed to teach me how to use it, and I'm going to start using it so that I can do stuff instead of having to use my phone. But you know what? I'm on that phone. Now, lights, I can get lights. I like lights. Audio, I can do audio. But that computer thing, that editing thing, oh my gosh. Just not my lane. If you notice the beginning of last year, a lot of my videos had a lot more polish. They were in 4K, high def. The lighting was just right. There was lots of little things that would a lot of transitions, a lot of zoom ins, a lot of back outs, a lot of B-roll and all this and that. And I could do it, but it made it less fun and it made it less flowy and it took so much longer. And I really decided that the people that are going to watch this, that's going to listen to this country boy in the shed talking to his phone, it doesn't make sense if everything is perfectly polished and everything is high def and is like a Netflix movie. I actually dumbed down my my images. Now the image that the camera pictures is pretty dumb as it is, but I went to a lower resolution because I'm kind of looking to get a more at home feel. And I think it makes a difference. If you look at my videos from a year ago and you look at videos now, you're going to see that they're not as shiny, not as glossy, not as crisp, not as everything else. And that's intentional. The audio, I've upped on the audio because audio is important. I've really started messing around with the audio and the mixers and stuff on the software. First lady just texted, "We were on the ride, haha." So waiting for. I wonder if that's as fun as it used to be. That was, what did she say they were on? Haunted Mansion. Man, I loved Haunted Mansion. You get in that ride and you sit down and then you look in the mirrors and there was a ghost sitting next to you, right? You get in the elevator and the elevator would stretch and the pictures would get weird. Man, I loved that. I loved that ride. I did, and it was right next to Tom Sawyer's Island, and you got to run over the bridge that was on the barrel, so it was sloosh, and so I'd run through it real hard. Wait till my sister got 3/4 out there where it was really wiggly, and I would just pound it and trying to throw her off the darn thing. Yeah, I was not a nice guy. I was a brother. But I'd get her to scream and have her sit down because she couldn't stand it, and I just had a great time over there at Disney. And then you could get on the steamboat, right, with the big paddle wheel on the back, and yeah, there's some memories from there. We used to go to Disney as a kid. Sarah and I's first anniversary, we stayed at Fort Wilderness in a tent. And went to Disney. Spent a couple days at Disney. That was really, really nice. Had a really good time doing that. Way back when. God, that was 33 years ago. Wow, that's a lifetime. Literally. So now she says, off now. Well, I'm on again. So, and we're nowhere near 41 minutes and 29 seconds. When we get done with this one, I'll get off and I'll FaceTime her. Not that you need to know that, but I'm excited for them. They did all the bells and whistles. They got these little bracelets. Disney's come a long way. They got all those little bracelets that when you stand in the right spot, the thing takes a picture for you. But if you hold up your hands in just the right way, some emoji comes up, or there's a picture with all the kids and Sarah and Gracie. And Gracie's got her hand up, and it looks like she's holding a bunch of Happy New Year balloons right in front of the Epcot ball, and it looks real. And AI is scary. And then there's other things where they got bouncy round things, and they get to do all these engagements with all sorts of stuff, and evidently there's this thing in Disney now called pixie dusting, which no, it's not a drug, but. Okay, on cruises, on Carnival Cruises. Well, I don't know Carnival Cruises on Royal Caribbean. I think it's all other cruises. They will hide ducks, just like a Jeep person, and you'll find the ducks, right? And they got little notes on them. First lady loves hunting ducks when we're on cruises, and then she'll hide them back. Most of them. Sometimes she brings them home. Well, in Disney, they have what's called pixie dusting. And you can get these, you buy, smart Disney, you buy all these little Disney pins, these cool pins of all the characters in different whatevers. And you just hide them in places with little notes. They kind of come pre-done that way. And you leave them laying around, and as you're walking around, you look for them, and you pick them up, and you collect them, and then Disney salts the fields with them. The places have them, and they might be a special pin that you can't buy, maybe another pin, which causes people to want to keep doing it. That's pretty cool. And so they're out dropping off pins. They bought some pins, and they're leaving pins and looking for pins so they can be pixie dustings, right? Kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. It's a little extra. They went to Epcot last night for the New Year's celebration at midnight. I had planned to be asleep, but First Lady wanted me to kind of be virtually with them on that, and I did too, so I stayed up. I was late. Midnight, right? A little later. and they had fireworks and lasers and water cannons and all this stuff from all over the little countries. So they're all shooting out over the lake, and it's really, really cool. And then their finale, which was not very long, the actual finale was less than, I don't know, 3 minutes, but it literally lit up the sky. Every last square inch seemed like it had a sparkle from a firework. It was the biggest finale I've ever seen. I was like, "That Jim, no wonder it's short, because they done spent some money on that gunpowder." Yes, sir. So stayed at the house, didn't go out and do anything. Had a good time. Just I had a time sitting in the house. The fireworks going off in the neighborhood, and the dogs weren't popping off really hard, but I was shooting my best of 2024 list last night at. I finished editing at 10:30, so it didn't take me long to be ready to do Fourth of July, to do New Year's. So let's see, we got a little less than half an hour. We are halfway dead. How you doing? How was your day? Did you have a good day? That's important. Did you? Let me turn this camera a little bit. Let me sit back in my chair because I'm tired. Get the microphone to come to me just a little bit. Oh, that's better. Oh my goodness, I'm tired. Tearing up in that dang bathroom. Now I will tell you, if you're following me on Facebook, you saw a picture, or Instagram. I think I put it on Instagram maybe, but you saw it on Facebook of me with my feet on the ground in the bathroom under the house because the joists were cut out. And I had a Ryobi fan. Love Ryobi. All the battery stuff. I have tons of them with the Ryobi fan blowing at my feet. And my feet were in the picture on the dirt under the house. And I said, is it really smoking in the house if you're smoking under the house? And a lot of fellers gave me, nah, Bubba, you good. So the first lady comes home and she goes, you smoked in the house. I said, no, I smoked under the house, and here's the proof. All these other guys say the same thing. So that was kind of fun to smoke a cigar. I smoked the Umbagog, the OG Umbagog, because it just felt like a cigar to smoke when I was working. I was trying to channel my inner Steve Saka because he's a craftsman par excellence, right? And so Umbagog is one of the cigars too that if you get busy and you drop it, it doesn't bust. And if you drop or you sit it down for a while and then you have to relight it, it doesn't really lose a lot of value in the smoke. So that's a good thing. I hope you had a prosperous. I hope you had a great New Year's. I'm hoping that you didn't do anything silly like drink and drive. I hope you had a great time with the people you love for the amount of time that you love to. If you want to be in bed at 8 o'clock, I hope you were snoozing at 8:15, right? But if you wanted to ride this thing out like them young people, I hope you had a good time doing that as well. How was your New Year? Or how was 2024 for you? Was it good? If you had to measure it as to great moments versus not so great moments, did the great moments win? The not so great moments, did they last a long time? Did you learn lessons? Are you not going to have to go that lane again? I hope so. I hope your great moments outlasted your not so great moments, and I hope your not so great moments were not that bad. This year, I'm hoping that you have a great year. I hope this is your year. I hope you have phenomenal success in life, in love, in work. I hope you bring in lots and lots of money, smoke lots and lots of cigars, have lots and lots of time off, and enjoy all of it all the way through. If you have the hard times and the struggles, I hope that they are short. I hope you're surrounded by people that love you. And I hope that if there's a lesson to learn, you learn it so you don't have to ever do it again. Let's hope. Sadly, we've had people in our lives that didn't make it to see New Year's. I hope you don't have those issues this year. I hope you feel loved. And I hope you feel like your love is appreciated. You know, we don't talk about that much. I talk about a lot. I hope you feel loved. I'll say you deserve love and you have something to give and you're worth loving somebody. But it's got to be frustrating when you invest in somebody's life and you pour into them and you share with them love and you give them the best of you and they don't value it for the value it is. And either take advantage of it or they take it for granted or they just take it. Now, I know that if you give somebody love, you shouldn't expect it in return. If you do, in my opinion, if I'm going to love you just so you can love me back, I'm really not loving you, I'm loving me. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. If I'm going to love you just so that you love me back, I'm not loving you, I'm loving me. It's the truth. Sad, but true. If you love somebody, you love them because that you love them. But, here's the but. Dang, cigar went out. It's nice to feel loved back, to feel appreciated, to feel like the sacrifices and the gifts that you give are precious to those people, that are valuable to those people. For instance, for Christmas this year, I made the First Lady a jewelry box. Used a lathe, did all sorts of funky, creative stuff. It's the third year in a row I've made her jewelry boxes, made them in different sizes. And I worked hard. I probably put 40, 50 hours in that thing. I did a lot. There was a lot of funky details. There was a lot of me stretching myself and pouring myself into it. And I did it because I love her, because I wanted her to have it, because I wanted to give her something. I want her to have something that when she opens it up, she remembers that I took a moment to care for. And hopefully she'll pass it on to Stephen's wife, Shanna, Gracie, or the two girls, Macy and Ember. And then they'll know that Big Daddy, which is what they call me here, Big Daddy loved Grammy enough to do this. And he did good. He didn't just mail it in, he worked hard. And I can see the love in the work that he did. That's my hope. And if I gave it to her and she didn't appreciate it, it'd suck. Which, spoiler, she loved it. She thought it was great. She put it with her collection. She thought it was neat. She actually asked me some questions on some different stuff I did, which is really, really cool. But if I gave it to her and she didn't care about it, if I got all bent out of shape about it, and say I did all this for you and you didn't even care, you didn't even give a crap, after I told you that I spent all this time on it, I'm not really giving it to her, I'm giving it to me so that she can give me the praise that I'm seeking for the work that I'm doing. Which would be a gift to me, which would be kind of crummy. So luckily, she appreciated it. But if I did it for the right reasons, which I did, and if I did it out of love for her, which I did, If she didn't like it, or she didn't appreciate it, that's more of the word. If she didn't appreciate it, the effort I put into it, the time I put into it, that would that'd be sad. That'd be bummer to me. Luckily, she loved it. I make a lot of stuff. Some of it's not great, but this one I really put a lot of time into. And so I'm hoping that this year, it's a long segue, hoping that this year, when you choose to pour love into people, and a lot of love is time, love is money, love is suffering and patience, but time you can't get back. And so hopefully, when you pour love into somebody, they will appreciate the time. They'll appreciate the effort. They'll appreciate that you want them to be in your life. Now, that should be the end of that statement if we're in a perfect world. Because people aren't always nice. People aren't always looking out for your best interest. There may be people in your life this year, family or friends or relations, that don't have your best interest at heart. That you keep pouring into. And they keep taking and taking and taking and taking. And they have more expectations on you. And they want more from you. But they never want to give back. They just want to take. And that causes a toll on your life. In my opinion, somebody who knows you're going to keep giving them stuff and they just keep taking and taking and taking, and they either make you feel guilty or they make you feel whatever so that you give more and more and more and more, and they never give back, or they never support you, or they never there for you. It's a form of abuse. Some abuse is easy to spot. Physical abuse, mental abuse. But this is like an emotional abuse that can really just... Remember what I told you about love? The most important thing in love is time, because you don't have as much time. You don't know how much time you have, and you can't get any more time. If you've invested into one of those relationships and you know that it's time to be done, I pray that you will have the boldness to make those decisions, because they have consequences. They're not easy. They're not comfortable. I pray that you will have the boldness to do what you need to do. And I pray that you will be blessed and surrounded by people that you'll be able to talk to and gain encouragement from to go through the hard times. Daggone! Chief's FaceTiming me now. I still got 14, 16 minutes. I'll call him back after I call First Lady back. He's probably talking to me about, have you seen my list yet? Top 20 or whatever of 2025, 2024 that he put out. I haven't seen him post it yet. I posted mine. Maybe he's going to say, your list sucks. He might. I pray for happiness for you this year. And I use the word pray because I do. This year I'm going to try to be more vigilant in prayer. In praying for you, in praying for your surroundings and your situation, and praying for others, and praying for my family, and praying for myself. I'm going to look for opportunities for success. I'm going to be willing to say enough is enough. It's my hope. I'm going to be willing to say that I'm valuable. I deserve to be treated well. Be willing to say that I'm worth it. I'm a mess, but I'm worth it. I'm going to try to base people off the core of who they are and not of what they can do for me. I don't want people to be listed in my head as, well, this person is above this person because this person provides this, or this person does this and that. No, it should be about their heart, not about what they do. The actions will come from the heart. So if you focus on the heart, I'm hoping this year that I will reach out to people that need help that will never be able to help back. Hope I can help some people through some dark times. Hoping I can celebrate with them in some good times. I'm hoping this year that the channel is a channel that you can come to and feel comfortable with. And it gives you something. It encourages you. It builds you up. It maybe makes you think of something that may be uncomfortable. I hope you laugh. God, I hope you laugh so hard that you almost pee yourself. Actually, that's a lie. I hope you laugh so hard that you pee yourself. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but that would be epic. If you text me and message me, Mom, you made me pee. Sorry. I'm still a middle schooler in my head. I hope I look for opportunities for kindness. I hope I remove distractions from my life and focus on the core things. I hope that at the end of this year, the people that know me, if we're asked, would say, he made a difference in my life. He cared. He's an idiot. He made me pee. But he cared. And he gave his time. And he gave me a little bit of his heart. And I hope that I am blessed with people who will do the same thing. Now, I know you. I may never have met you, but I know you. And I know at your core you're awesome. And I hope this year that you use your awesomeness to make a difference in people's lives. I do. Because you are so valuable. You don't know it, but the people that you interact with are affected by who you are. When you allow yourself to be you and you give yourself to others in moderation, in balance, those people's lives are better. How many times have you been going through crap in your life and somebody comes up to you and says, "You all right? Hey, what's going on with you? You good?" And you shrug it off if you're like me and say, "No, I'm fine." But how much does that mean to you that somebody took a moment, even if I didn't accept it, but if somebody took a moment and they asked, you feel like you're seen, you feel like you're valuable. I know it means a lot to me. I do. So, what time we got? 41:29. We're at 30. We still have 10 minutes. So I'll tell you a story. I wasn't the only one that did crafts this year. Chief goes, "Dad, I want to use your lathe." I'm like, "Yeah? You ain't never used my lathe." He goes, "I know. I want to make Mom a pen. I want to make Mom a pen on the lathe." And I'm sitting there going, "I've never made a pen on a lathe. I don't have the jigs for that. I've always done bigger stuff. I said, Bubba, you've never been on that lathe. You sure you want to try something that difficult? Because pens are not easy. I mean, you have to be precise. He goes, yeah. I said, all right. So I went out and I got some of the stuff because I want to do it too. And he ended up making 4 pens. Well, he ended up making 5 or 6. And one of the nights I was in here, and it was getting close to Christmas. I was in the shop, in the studio, shooting videos. The shop's right out there, and everything's going fine. And all of a sudden, I hear, "Gah!" Bam, 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 bam. And I wait a couple seconds. Smile is on my face. I know that sound. I have made that sound. So I went out after a couple minutes and said, "What's up, buddy?" Chief wants to use the hardest, most difficult wood. He had a big old pack of pen blank wood that you had to turn. He grabbed some burl, which if you don't know wood, burl is the knot that's all, the grains all sorts of different ways. They use it for pipes. They use it for fancy bowls. They use it for all sorts of stuff. Burl is very expensive. But burl is very fragile. It'll bust. It has voids. The grain is hard to follow. It's very difficult, a higher level piece of wood. And then he grabbed some spalted wood. And spalted wood is a wood that's been left out in the weather, and it's got a mold that ran through it, and it leaves these pretty black lines on this white soft wood. And spalted, if not careful, will peel apart at those black lines. Now, all right, I said mold, yes. It's not bad for you. It's not like black mold. It's just part of the process. And it dries out and it's fine. Everything's wonderful. And so he was using the super duper hard wood, the difficult wood, and he busted a couple. But he didn't stop. He grabbed another blank. He drilled it out. He did all the other stuff. He put it together and he made some amazing pens. He did. I was proud and jealous at the same time. I'm like, dang it. I ain't never made a pen on that lathe, and he made a better pen than I've ever made. Now I got to go make some pens. I'm still a guy. Still got ego, right? But I was very proud of him, and he put it in a little presentation box and gave it to his mom. And then he told his mom that he had decided to make pens because she works in mental health, and she's a counselor, and she also does management stuff with that kind of lifestyle, the counseling lifestyle, mental health lifestyle. And so he wanted to give her something that she would use all the time. That was pretty cool. And it was neat to see that the First Lady was very appreciative of it, and Stephen was very excited about it. And Stephen made another project. He actually got a burl blank pipe. And he went through the process, and he carved me out a pipe by using practically every tool in the shop. And he said, which was really cool to me, he said, this is the neatest, this is the most special thing I've ever made out of all the stuff he's made. And it was that pipe. And I looked at it. I was impressed with it. I asked him a bunch of questions about it. Packed it full of tobacco. An aromatic pipe tobacco I had. Christmas something or other. And worked like a charm. Didn't have hot spots, didn't burn out. I mean, it had a technicality to it too. I mean, because you can get a pipe blank and you can whittle it or grind it down or sand it down or cut it down or whatever. And if you don't do it right, then it doesn't function right. You have blowouts, you have burnouts out the side. It gets very hot in your hand, or it gets very bitter because it doesn't have the right airflow. And he did all that well. It was neat. And the First Lady, she was making a project. She was making a project for the grandkids. And she ended up not having enough time, so I don't want to talk about it. But usually when we do projects together, I've got 5 minutes. I'll get this done. Usually when we have projects together, I'll just kind of do the project, and I'll design the project, and I'll just kind of Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. She came up with her project. She went and found plans. She modified the plans. She drew a full life-size drawing with measurements on cardboard. We cut it out and we made a pattern. And she went through some of the headaches of trying to figure out some of the tooling. And I was extremely impressed. And I guess that's why I was talking about time is love, or love is time, because she spent a lot of time, a lot of intentionality in using her abilities and finding new abilities. Chief learning his abilities, finding new abilities. He's never been on lathe before, and he did a great job. Still got all his fingers and everything. He didn't tear up my tools, which is even good, because I was worried about it, to be honest. Because you can mess up a lathe, and you can get messed up with a lathe pretty fast. So I hope your life in 2025 is filled with that kind of love from those kind of people. I really hope you do. And I hope that you choose to be one of those kind of people that shows love like that to somebody else, and it's appreciated. So, and I appreciate you. Now we're going to wind this thing down. We've got 41:29. We're at 37:40 something. So 4 minutes, 3 minutes. We got a lot of stuff coming this year. First Lady is going to be doing the second Saturdays with First Lady Live. She'll be doing giveaways. You got to watch it when it's on to win, and the giveaways are going to be stupid ridiculous. Not a $50 giveaway, not a $100 giveaway. You're going to have hundreds of dollars worth of stuff in these giveaways. She's committed to at least 6 months. I know she's going to commit for the full year. It's going to be mainly her. I'll always keep my hand in the process a little bit. But it's going to be First Lady driven. It's going to be fantastic and phenomenal. Chief Talk is growing. This year, Chief is going to be a little bit more focused on having guests on. I'm not going to be on near as much. I'm going to back out and let Chief build his brand, the Chief Talk brand. And so you'll be able to see him do his thing. Fantastic time to hang out in Herf. Great shows, great times. Talks about all sorts of stuff. It's funny, it's hilarious, it's interesting. It's just a good way to spend some time feeling like you're hanging out with your friends. What else? We got Drew's Day every week. We've got the soccer series every week. We've got, hopefully we'll be picking back up Villiger, JC Newman. Don't know yet. Looks like you might have a couple other new sponsors. Quality Importers, I'm not sure if they are going to get back with us or not. They haven't said anything negative, but they haven't responded back. It's a New Year's week, so Christmas week leading up. It's always crazy and whatever. And so I don't expect to hear from them till a little bit later. So, but hopefully we'll have some more Quality Importer stuff with some more swag to have, some more gear, which would be fantastic. I've got 1 more minute. We had a video go over 250,000 views this year. That's amazing. It's crazy for us. It's small for other people, but it's big for us. We had over 115,000 views this year. We are on track to have 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, 2025. If we do, we'll have a big giveaway. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you have friends, I know you have tons of friends, tell them to subscribe too. But then say it's not my fault if he does dumb things, because he's Bob the Cigar Guy. Going to New Orleans in April for PCA. Fantastic. We'll be telling you all sorts of stuff. We'll have PCA After Dark, I believe, as well, that live that we do, that I do. We should be going to all the barn smokers this year. We're looking forward to that as well. And I am down to less than 30 seconds. So I want to leave this by saying I love you and I thank you for being you. I thank you for making a difference in this world, because you do. And I want you to know that you are valuable and you are a part of my life. And I am so blessed that you are part of my life. I really am. Got a cough. Tried to hold it for another 20 seconds. It was not hanging on. We got 10 seconds. So that's it. I'm going to go. Thank you for being here for episode 1. Hope you're here for episode 2. Leave me comments. Tell me what you think. I need them. I love you. Later, Tater. Drive safe.